Hello, you're watching DS Tech Media, where we cover everything tech from consoles to servers, but focusing on Linux and open source software. I am Jay, and this is Philips Hue personal wireless lighting. And if you're not familiar, these are color changing lights that operate wirelessly through your home Wi-Fi. It says they cover 16 million colors. The way I always saw them was as light bulbs that you could buy and fit into your existing light fixtures or lamps, what have you. But I then came across these, which are their own unit. Obviously, you plug them into power and they connect to your home network for controlling the colors. You can sync them up with music. They work with Alexa, Google Assistant, lots of other things. And it was really the fact that I could just put them wherever I wanted them. I didn't have to install them into my lights that kind of made me get into this. And then I went crazy and I also got these, which are shape lights or light strips basically that you can run. So in order to use these, you also need the main component, which is the Philips Hue Bridge. This will connect to your home network via Ethernet. But yeah, that's the whole deal. So we're gonna jump right on in. So there's the box and it shows you the color gamut and everything there. Let's go ahead and open this up. So it looks like a pretty decent length cord. Looks like you run both of them off of a single power block, which is okay, but it would have been nice to have individual ones. These are, I assume, stands, and these are actually for mounting to the back of the television. We also get 3M adhesive brown stickers and 2 tiny Allen screws and an Allen wrench. So there's one. I'll do the other one horizontally. There's 2. Let's go ahead and open up the bridge. And on the bottom, we've got an Ethernet port, DC adapter. This is 80 inches and this is 40 inches. And here's another little DC block with, I guess it's like a digital connector. They're wound up like that. So yeah, total of 80 inches and 40 inches, so it's pretty long run of those. Next up, we're gonna have to set up the networking and whatnot. Hang in there. First step is to set up the lights, and I've got one set up there and another one back there. Now we've got to go downstairs and hook up the bridge. I could technically hook it up to one of my switches here, but I'd rather see like what kind of range you get out of the Philips bridge. So here we go. So So here we are in the basement. We've got Mr. Arlo is here. He's not happy that I'm bothering him. Oh, maybe he is. He's just interested in the camera. Anyways, we're going to hook up the bridge here. So we've got the Ethernet running to the router slash modem. Plug in the LAN. Plug in the power, and now we've got some kind of lights, and I think that this is a good thing. Now we just have to install the Philips Hue app on Android and run through the setup process. Now we're going to be adding the lights. Searching for lights, and we found 2 lights. Start configuration. Hue Play 1, save. Next light. Hue Play 2, save. Done. And now we're going to add a room. Guess we'll call it the studio. Save. And it looks like they're working. I guess we're gonna go and test them out now. Okay, so we are back in the studio. Let there be lights. And yeah, there we go. We've got lights. And we can dim them all the way down, turn them all the way up. We can even adjust them, turn them off individually, and manually adjust them. And now they're actually in sync. We can go from cold all the way up to warm, and every variation in between. We can also pick from what's called the scene gallery. So this one's called Night Light. This is called Relaxed, Dimmed, Autumn Gold, Spring Lake, Frosty Dawn, Party Vibes. This is Soho. This is pretty cool. Since starting the video, I've learned a bunch of new things about controlling the hue lights, and I also added the OG Hue Bulbs, and that's actually what's lighting me right now. I have one in the lamp over here and an additional articulating lamp over there. I also set up the strips, so here we go. Since installing the lights, I received an update that enabled dynamics, and when you have dynamics, you can not only switch between your various scenes, but you get this little play button, and the play button starts the color changing pattern, so the lights will cycle. And prior to the update, the other way to create color changing in the lights is through the Hue Labs, and they have various ones, and you can download them and set them to work on some lights but not others, and they work pretty well, but it's nowhere near as simple as the dynamic scenes. Additionally, you can set the lights up into zones, and with the zones you can add different rooms or sets of lights to the zone, and they'll all function as one. So I can adjust the brightness of the zones based on that, and we can even set the entire zone to work off of a scene. So this is all 5 lights working together. And I know I mentioned it before, but using the various apps, you can also synchronize the lights, and they're changing to music or the sound from a video, sort of like the visualizer plugin on your music player applications. Unfortunately, when it comes to applications for Linux, there's definitely some functionality missing there, and we should probably get into that and show you some of the issues I've ran into on that front. So if I do a search on controlling Hue lights with Linux, one of the first things you'll find is an article from, oh my god, Ubuntu, and they mention a Hue Lights GNOME extension. And at the top of the article, it mentions another article about a GTK app for managing Philips Hue lights on the Linux desktop. And that was actually what I was looking for. And you can see it here. It's pretty ideal. And the only drawback is that you have to compile it from source. And I actually did that. I went through all of the installation processes, built it, installed it, even got it to run, and discovered it could not initialize. And I didn't have high hopes for it to begin with, because if you look at their GitHub, all of the commits are 6 years ago. So basically this is unmaintained. And it's a shame, because it looked like this would have been a really great app. So we default back to the new app, which is only available to Linux users on GNOME. I went to install it. The earliest GNOME shell supported is 3.36. Now I'm running Ubuntu 18.04. My GNOME shell version is 3.28. And if you're wondering why I'm running 18.04 instead of upgrading, it's because I make videos, music, and graphics. I have a ton of software set up on this computer, and I don't want to sacrifice any piece of my workflow, so I stick with a slightly outdated system. Typically, there's a workaround to things like this. In this situation, because this is an extension and it's GNOME, I'm kind of stuck. However, I could run a newer version as a VM, so that's what we're going to try to do. So here we are. This is a Ubuntu 2004 VM. It's running GNOME 36.1. And here we are at extensions.gnome.org. This is the Hue Lights extension, and we're just going to go ahead and enable it, install. And now we get a little app indicator for it up here. Let's try it out. Okay, so it is not discovering any Philips Hue bridges. So I had to press the button on the bridge and it is now connected. It shows all of my lights that are on my phone. Let's see if this works. Yes, it definitely does work. And it's awesome because of just how simple it is. I mean, everything's here. I can adjust everything manually. So if you're on GNOME 3.36 and higher, this is a working solution for controlling Philips Hue lights. So there you go. That's everything I've learned so far with the Philips Hue personal lighting. I really enjoy it. I think it adds a lot of ambience to the room. I cannot wait to have this set up in the real studio, which is just on the other side of the wall behind me. I'm refinishing it, and once I get everything set up in there, these lights will all go in there, and I think they're gonna look a lot better in there, and I'll be able to get a lot more use out of them when I'm making videos and everything. As far as setting everything up, it's really simple. I think most people could probably figure it out. It's all pretty much plug and play. I will warn you, these lights aren't exactly cheap. I did see online they had a starter pack with the Hue Play. It came with the bridge and the whole thing was going for $150, so that's not a terrible deal. But yeah, let me know what you think. Do you like the way the Hue lights look? Is this something that you would use? Everyone is using LED color changing lights in their computer builds nowadays, and this is sort of the perfect complement to that. You just LED your entire house or your entire room. Anyways, if you made it this far in the video, please hit that thumbs up button. Like and share always helps. It's so important to making the channel grow. If you like content like this, if you use Linux, if you are into tech, hit that subscribe button because I publish videos a few times a month, or at least I try to. Thank you so much for watching. I'm Jay. This is DS Tech Media, and I'll see you in the next one.